To the next session, which is on the ease of doing cane farming, mechanization and modernization. Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity and privilege of introducing the moderator, Mr. M. Prabhakar Rao, President, Indian Sugar Mills Association. Let's welcome him on the dais. Dr. Prabhakar Rao is an alumnus of the School of Agricultural Science, Banaras Hindu University. He is the chairman of NSL Group of Companies, which includes Nuzividu Seeds Limited, one of the largest seed companies in India. He is the president of Indian Sugar and Bioenergy Manufacturers Association. He believes in arriving at comprehensive solutions to the farmers' and consumers' distress through modernization and mechanization of farming sector, as well as digitalization for information flow and policy making. We welcome you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be welcoming the speaker for this session now, Mr. Roshan Tamak, CEO, DCM Shriram Limited. Mr. Roshan Tamak, Executive Director and CEO of Sugar and Ethanol at DCM Shriram Limited, boasts over 30 years of leading strategic growth in the Indian sugar sector with a strong focus on sustainability. A graduate of the Advanced Management Program from Wharton School and IIM Ahmedabad, he is a frequent speaker at global seminars. He's been awarded the SIA Best CEO and Lifetime Achievement Award, highlighting his profound industry experience. He's also the president of UP Sugar Mills Association. We welcome you, sir. The panelists for this session, Dr. P.K. Singh, Agriculture Commissioner, Government of India. Let's welcome Dr. P.K. Singh on the dais. Dr. Praveen Kumar Singh, an accomplished agricultural scientist, holds degrees in genetics and plant breeding from Banaras Hindu University. With a distinguished career spanning 30 years in ICAR, he has released 14 subtropical sugarcane varieties, published extensively and contributed significantly to IPR issues and seed production. As Agriculture Commissioner of India since 2022, he chairs key committees and advises on agricultural policies, serving on boards of Central Agricultural Universities and ICAR missions. We welcome you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now be inviting Mr. Prakash Naiknaware, MD, National Federation of Cooperative Sugar Factories Limited. Mr. Prakash, a veteran of the sugar sector with over 23 years of experience, currently serves as the Managing Director of the National Federation of Cooperative Sugar Factories Limited, India's apex body representing 260 cooperative sugar mills and 9 state federations. With a background in agriculture science and postgraduate diplomas in business and marketing management, he's previously led Sugar Max Incorporation in India and has contributed extensively to national committees and international conferences on sugar, sugarcane, ethanol, and cogeneration policies. We welcome you. Thank you very much for joining us here. With this, may I please request the moderator to kindly please begin the deliberations. Over to you, sir.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. So now, ethanol, hydrogen, sugar, but everything has to come from sugarcane. So now we will discuss about how do we produce more sugarcane and more easily. As we all know, the sugarcane is one of the most efficient crops in producing the energy by using the least amounts of water, the soil, and the nutrition. There are many beliefs, many rumors actually, which get spread that sugarcane is a water guzzler and the exporting of sugar or producing of ethanol from sugar is not a very efficient way of doing it. But there are publications which have proven that sugarcane is one of the most efficient crop, far ahead of the other crops like rice or corn, etc. The reason for this, the scientific reason for this is sugarcane is a C4 crop and it's a perennial crop. So because of these reasons, it adds a substantial amount of carbon to the soil and able to produce so much of energy by consuming less amount of water, nutrition, or land. Now coming to the Indian perspective, India has done tremendously well. In the last 4 decades, we have doubled the sugarcane production. We have become the largest sugarcane producer for a short period. Of course, again, we lost it to Brazil, but I am confident that in future, we'll get back to the top slot with the sustained, with the national mission for sugarcane that is going to be launched by the Government of India. Besides meeting the largest demand from the domestic market, which is at 29 million tons, growing at 2% every year, our country is capable of meeting more than half the demand of ethanol as per the EPP program. The success of the sugarcane production in our country can be attributed to the better cane varieties that have come from the ICR system, the mechanization, and the modern agriculture methods followed by the farmers for improving the water use efficiency, and also the increasing use of biologicals to make the sugarcane more sustainable and the agriculture more regenerative. The current production of sugarcane is around 430 to 440 million tons, which has to go up to about 510 to 520 million tons. And that needs to also happen with less amount of labor requirements. That's why the title that is chosen is Ease of Growing Sugarcane. To meet the ambitious targets and also the domestic demand for sugar, we anticipate that there is a need to marginally increase the area to go around 6.2 million hectares, and also to improve the yields marginally from the current level of 75 tons to about 85 tons. All these things are possible. They are not very ambitious targets. These targets are very much possible to achieve and meet the demands that arise from the food requirements as well as from the fuel requirements. By 2030, the water consumption in sugarcane is expected to come down by 30 to 40% by usage of drip irrigation systems. And at the same time, these usage of drip irrigation systems may also contribute towards increase of the yield from the 75 tons per hectare level to the 85 tons per hectare level. We have a very eminent panelist sitting here, and the first panelist, Dr. Tamak, will make a presentation, and after that we will hear from the other panelists, and then of course we'll conclude after a few questions from the delegates here. So thank you very much. I will request now Dr. Tamak to start his presentation.
Good afternoon. First of all, I should like to extend my sincere thanks to ISO for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts. Since morning, we heard Honorable Minister, Secretary, and other panelists, and everybody was harping on how can we increase productivity of sugar cane, and rightly so, because sugar cane is the heart of sugar sector, and sugar cane growers are the backbone of the sector. So with these two premises, we can improve the viability and sustainability of the sugarcane sector. So my focus will be on ease of doing sugarcane cultivation by mechanization and modernization. And during my presentation, I should like to touch upon few case studies as well, that how can we execute it? Because execution, in the success of idea lies in execution. So coming to my presentation, as we all know that Indian sugar sector is very vast. Just to share a few numbers, in India, the total sugarcane crop is being cultivated in 5 million hectares. The number of smallholders are 55 million. And if you consider an average family size of 4 to 5 persons per family, it is equal to Brazil population. Just see the magnitude. Therefore, the socio-economic and cultural and agricultural context has to be kept into mind while formulating the policies, just for the information of our international friends. As far as relationship with millers are concerned, of farmers, it is seamless. 365 days engagement, consistent engagement, and the farmers are being helped by sugar mills in many ways, like propagation of different varieties, improving the productivity, and supporting them in sugarcane supply as well. And one thing more to note, because this is very important, direct money to the farmer's account is being transferred in India since last more than 20 years to their bank accounts. This is also an interesting fact to note. But what is the requirement of mechanization and what are the benefits of mechanization? So obviously, it improves the productivity and it reduces the cost of cultivation. But the bigger challenge is, how can we attract youths in agriculture? This is a real challenge, and it is a global challenge. Therefore, we have to work upon this. We have to make agriculture easy, and therefore mechanization and modernization is absolutely necessary. Migration of labor, urbanization are the global phenomena. Therefore, scarcity of labor is there. Timely availability of labor is a big issue, and particularly with the rising temperature in scorching heat, how it is possible, human drudgery is there, how it is possible to do agriculture operations. Therefore, all these three factors, ease of doing operations, improving economics, and conserving ecology, all three, if you want to achieve all three, mechanization and modernization is the answer. There are wide range of mechanization in sugarcane cultivation. If you see this graph in the entire life cycle, right from field preparation to mechanical harvesting, mechanization options are available. And in India, there are a lot of technology providers who are providing this wide range of implements and equipments. Of late, there are quite a few which have been added, like solar pumps have been added, and drip irrigation, of course, was added much earlier, and drone is the latest addition. So these have been added now, but the message here is that there is wide range of equipments and implements in India, and there are a number of technology providers who are providing these solutions. I should like to emphasize on these benefits of different machines, because since morning, today, everybody has harped on sustainability, and rightly so. But how mechanization can achieve the objectives of sustainability? Just for example, subsoiler, it improves the productivity by 5%. Deep plowing also improves the productivity. Laser leveling and micro irrigation and trash mulching, these three can contribute effectively in water conservation. And water is the most scarce resource, and particularly for a country like India, where 17% of the global population reside and only 4% water is there. And in agriculture, about 75% water is being consumed. Therefore, it is absolutely necessary to adopt water conservation measures. Similarly, for improving the fertilizer use efficiency, foliar spray, and that too with drone, is a very effective solution. It not only it improves the fertilizer use efficiency, but also it conserves water, and also the time taken to spray a particular area is also very less. So all these solutions serve the purpose of sustainability. Given the focus and thrust should be given by government, and our central government as well as provincial governments have framed various policies. This supportive policy framework is absolutely required to implement all these initiatives on scale. Therefore, an umbrella scheme, this Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, which covers all aspects of agriculture, and Dr. P.K. Singh will be dwelling on this particular scheme, because this is a flagship program of Government of India. So this takes care of all the aspects of agriculture, and other countries can also lead from this very successful scheme. Similarly, for mechanization, there are two schemes. One is National Mission on Mechanization, and second is National Food Security Mission. These are focused on mechanization. I shall be giving some details of these schemes in subsequently. What are these schemes? For water conservation, there are two flagship schemes of Government of India. One is PM Kusum Yojana for solarization of irrigation. This is one scheme. And second is per drop, more crop, as our Honorable Prime Minister also speak number of times on this particular scheme. So for water conservation, and third one is National Water Mission campaign, Catch the Rain. How can we harvest the rainy water? Because unless we harvest rainy water, we cannot conserve it. So with all these schemes on mechanization, water conservation, and productivity improvement, this supportive policy framework exists in India, which is helping the sector. Now comes to the execution part. In India, there are so many examples where sugar factories, in collaboration with respective technology providers and government, have implemented various schemes. And on big scale, reasonable scale, which has created significant impact. Like, for example, it is heartening to note that mechanical harvesting in India, in one factory in Maharashtra, which Mr. Prakash Naiknaware can also touch upon about this factory, about more than total 100% cane is mechanically harvested. It's really delightful to hear this particular news. It is not a less significant achievement. It's a major achievement. And particularly so, if you see this slide, in Australia, already 100% mechanization is there. In Brazil, about 80% mechanization is there. In Thailand also, having similar conditions, 35% mechanization is there. But in India, it is only 4%. But the interesting part is this slide. From 2019 to 2024, there is more than 300% growth in mechanical harvesters. It's a wonderful achievement. And similarly, the mechanical harvesting ratio has also increased substantially. Just a minute. Now comes the water, the most scarce natural resource. In drip irrigation, again, lot of focus. And here I have picked up very few examples. Please forgive me for that because it was impossible to cover everyone. So in natural sugar, about 45% area is covered under micro-irrigation in Maharashtra. And this factory is located in the drought-prone area of Maharashtra. In Maharashtra state itself, 20% of the total area is covered under drip irrigation. Here also, progress is significant and it is accelerating at a very good pace. Trench planting. For the information of everyone, trench planting is wide row spacing. And why we adopt wide row spacing? Because we want to reduce the competition for air, for fertilizer, and for sunlight. That's why wide row spacing is supposed to be better and it is yielding good result. So in a state like Uttar Pradesh, more than 50% area is covered under trench planting with the collaborative efforts of government and of course factories. Foliar spray, many factories are using drone like Rajaram Bapu, DCM Shriram. Multiple factories are using drone and adopting this foliar spray on a very big scale. Custom hiring model, we heard in the morning also. Companies like DCM Shriram and EID Perry, they have developed micro-entrepreneurs to propagate this custom hiring model. That how the farmers who are not having equipments, they can get the equipments on hire basis, so that everybody need not to commit capex. And this is working very nicely. And the last one, call center, because this is the age of digitalization. How can we improve? How can we use telephone to impart, to transmit knowledge and information? So at DCM Shriram Limited, we have set up a call center It has 98 lines call center. There are 12 number staff deputed over there who are equipped and qualified to answer any queries related to sugarcane cultivation and sugarcane supply. And we are getting very good response. Amongst a farmer base of 200,000 growers, about 700 calls are being received on daily basis, and about 2,000 calls are on outbound basis. So in a way, we are leveraging technology to impart information, knowledge, and redress their issues. But we cannot rest here. These are time-tested technologies, and we have to be future-ready also. So what are we doing for that? So therefore, there are various technologies which have been introduced. Of course, some of them are niche, but today, if we don't see the seed, how can we grow the tree? So therefore, precision farming tools based on artificial intelligence, machine learning, and satellite imagery, there are many technologies. And just for the information of the audience over here, there are 2,800 startups in agtech space in India who are active. This space is promising, and this space is a sunrise sector. Autonomous irrigation. Various irrigation companies are promoting this thing. Micro weather stations. Many companies, many sugar factories have also installed automatic weather stations for transmitting the very precise information, precise weather advisory in the catchment area of about 8 kilometers, so that farmers are alerted if there are any weather events. Same way, to support startups, Smart Farm Grant Challenge has also been initiated by Ministry of Information and Technology. There 12 startups have been chosen, and in collaboration with DCM Shriram, and these startups have been entrusted to find solutions in 3 areas. How can we assess sugarcane yield? How can we assess the optimum maturity period? And third, how can we monitor the crop condition? And for policymakers, these are the real challenges, and to formulate real policies. Very good solutions have come up, and very soon these will be published in the public domain as well. Next is digital platform. Today, the country is riding on the wave of digitalization. And how can we capture digitalization? For aggregation of agricultural machinery. And there are a number of platforms which have come up in the space, and I'm quite hopeful that this space will also pick up in due course of time. But any issue is not without challenge. So what are the challenges we are facing? Challenges, of course, first and foremost is the small land holding. We cannot do away anything about this thing. But what is the mitigant then? Mitigant is that miniaturization of agricultural machinery has to be done, and our technology providers are working on that. Second is costly machinery. The answer to costly machinery is custom hiring model, which the government is also promoting, which the industry is also promoting. Micro entrepreneurs have to be developed so that they can rent equipments on hire. Third, of course, technical knowledge, gap in technical knowledge. We can leverage technology, and capacity building is an ongoing exercise. This is very much required. And last one is repairing facilities, sales and service center. So of course, this needs to be scaled up. Right now, technology providers are setting up, particularly in rural areas, but it has to be scaled up. In the last, I have 3 things to offer. One, as you know, India is a country of smallholders. And we have certain experiences, and similarly other countries, whether it is Brazil or Thailand or Australia, they are also having experiences. So how can we tap collective wisdom? And how can we channelize and exchange knowledge, information, and share practices? So what can be done? Collaboration is the key. Collaboration increases strength. But for that, there should be some institutional mechanism. So I think our dear friend José Orive is very active. So the time is ripe, time has come. Because improving sugarcane productivity, ensuring sustainable sugarcane production is the key. Therefore, we must put in place a mechanism to share practices, policies, and case studies, and also learn from each other in an effective manner. So for that purpose, we can have a cross-country collaboration in terms of some alliance or coordination committee or task force, whatsoever you call it, but it is the need of the hour. And to me, sustainable sugarcane production is the main problem, and in which, in this case, mechanization can play a pivotal role. Second, the whole space of agri-tech, mechanization, aggregation, by using digitalization, by using cell phone penetration, this space particularly, how can we implement same way as we have implemented in case of taxis, like we book Uber. How can we ensure Uberization of agriculture machinery? There are quite a number of startups working in this space, but this needs to be scaled up. And this offers an investment opportunity also for the entrepreneurs, for companies, for established corporates, and this is a very attractive space. And I must say, given the scale, scope, and size of particularly of India, this provides an attractive investment opportunity. Time is ripe and time is right for this. Let's join hands and let's work in this direction. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tamak. So very enlightening presentation on improving the ease of cane cultivation. Now we'll move on to Dr. P.K. Singh. So Dr. P.K. Singh, can we request you to enlighten us about the National Mission on Sugarcane and also the breeding efforts that are happening to develop new varieties with higher sugar recovery, higher yields, and also the climate resilience, considering the climate change factors that are impacting the agriculture.
Thank you. Thank you, ISO, to call me for this panel discussion. Friends, once industry is coming forward with such novel technologies and novel ideas, so government is always behind to provide the best policies also. So there is a need to sync these needs with the policies, and then the agronomy and the genetics of the varieties with the mechanization needs, if we just focus on the mechanization in that way. So just like has very rightly pointed that micro IMD facilities, no, meteorological facilities. So we have come up with a mega scheme called as WINDS. So that WINDS means we are going to have such kind of micro weather stations at all the panchayats in India. And that data will be controlled by IMD, and then it will be open access data, and so many startups can build upon the advisories and other things on that. So such kind of policies are there. Similarly, for syncing the needs of the mechanization, the kind of varieties which are needed in the future. Just we can say the high biomass varieties which can fit the this broad gaps between the two lines. That is, if you are going in for the spacing of say 1.5 meters or so to suit the mechanization, so the varieties also should be there which are lodging tolerant, so it is not going to lose. It has to cover the biomass, the whole field in the same period. So it should be, it should have higher growth rate, and all those things are to be, then we have to slice all those things like that. Similarly, for the planting time, agronomy, if we see, the trench planting, yes, very good technology, and then we are covering, we are not only saving water for the first 3-4 irrigations in that, But also we can go for broader spacing by trench planting and then paired row methods and all those. So similarly for all kinds of mechanization, we have to have a sequence of machinery requirement and all the machinery should fit for that kind of mechanization needs. Say if we have thinking for the small farmers like 1 hectare farmers, then the turning losses in the machinery and all that. So that we are, Ministry of Jal Shakti, they are planning to provide the, dismantle all these channels, open channels, and then they are trying to provide piped irrigation. So that this turning loss at the time, at the bunds or the channels is reduced. So such things are being snatched at the policy level also, we are working for that. And then now the industry has come up with a very novel idea of watershed approach for the sugarcane, sustainable sugarcane production. And definitely it will go a long way, not only in saving water, but also all the mechanization needs. So in that laser leveling and all those will come at one point, and we can then go for under SMAM, that is Submission on Agriculture Mechanization. We can then provide the custom hiring centers to the your agencies or the factories who are working for the development under their captive area. So in that way we can then have a pooled kind of system, or the FPO based or cluster based, or we can then enlarge it to the whole watershed in a particular factory zone. So that kind of scheme, yes, there is a very good proposal from the industry, and we are working on that. We hope that we are be able to gather funds for that from the government side also, and then trying to launch it by the next season. So that we will do in that way. Similarly, regarding any machinery which is required for mechanization of sugarcane, yes, we can go for subsidies, we can go for custom hiring centers, and different rates of subsidies we can provide to different conditions. So like FPOs, we are giving some different kind of subsidy, custom hiring centers, different subsidies, and then individual farmers, they are getting different subsidies. But in that it is very important to efficiently utilize those machines. So if a machine is coming, it should be put to full utilization. So that is also very important in that. So I think for mechanization at present, yes, this syncing the needs of the industry with the policies and the agronomy and genetics of sugarcane cultivation with the mechanization needs are the two main focus points. Thank you.
I would like to ask you one more question, Dr. P.K. Singh. You have been hearing the earlier session, more and more emphasis is going on to the carbon emissions. So the sugarcane farming also, though it is much more efficient than the other crops, even then there is a scope for reducing the carbon emissions further by practicing sustainable agricultural practices and moving in that direction. Are there any plans in the Agriculture Ministry to help the farmers claim the carbon credits and therefore add an additional income stream? While it helps the farmer in gaining additional income stream, it can also help the industry in capturing the carbon emission data for the product what we manufacture. And therefore we can make the claim that our product is coming with so much of reduced carbon emission. So this I think would be very helpful.
Yeah, very right concern. And then for that I can say that just in the previous 15 days only, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, they have included agriculture in the voluntary carbon market system. So now the need of the hour, we have also given a voluntary carbon market policy and all those things are there, how we can go for the market. But the need of the hour is to develop the credit rating techniques, that this particular technology, if we replace flood irrigation with drip irrigation. So how much credits it will generate in different conditions. So all those things have to be then standardized. And then we are offering projects worth rupees 50 lakh for institutions to develop such kind of standard practices and the technologies which can generate carbon credit in there. So I have asked director of Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research is here, so they can take such project or even Sugarcane Breeding Institute can take a project on that, and so that they can actually say that this much of carbon credit is being generated by adopting this particular technology, say laser leveling or irrigation control, this skip furrow method or whatever method you are applying for irrigation, and how much carbon you can save. So that standard practice has to be developed. So those standards are needed at present. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we move on to Dr. Naiknaware, so who represents the cooperative sector, which is also a very substantial part of the Indian sugar industry. And I will request him to speak about the cooperative experience in the farm, in the sugarcane mechanization, and various other aspects about the cane development and interactions with the farmers.
Thank you. Good afternoon, friends, and many thanks to DFPD and ISO for this opportunity. First of all, what is cooperative? In brief, I'd like to tell you, because many of you would be not knowing what's cooperative. We have been talking about cooperative. Typically, 20,000 plus cane growing farmers, they come together and form their own company. They are the owners, they are the stakeholders, they are the equity partners. So they form their own company, they take their own decisions and go about. Now, India has got 260, that is almost half of the number of total sugar mills in India in cooperative sector. And inter alia, about more than 5 million cane growing farmers are directly attached with the cooperative sugar mills. That's in brief about the cooperatives. Now, in India, India is a very large country and so many provinces. But if you see the largest sugar producing province of Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Gujarat, these are the three provinces where cooperatives are majority of the sugar mills, and the sector is very well spread. And they contribute quite a bit in the country's overall sugar production and the ethanol production. Having introduced that, I must say, now why I picked up these three states, there's a reason here. In these three states, the cane cutting operation is largely handled manually. And those cane cutters, almost in number of about 1 million cane cutters, they migrate from various places and come in the season to cut the cane. And there, the young generation of these cane cutters with better education and better job opportunities in the cities are not willing to do this job. It's a very strenuous job. Doing the cane cutting manually in the heat of, say, February, March, April, May, it's inhuman, I must say that. And there underlines the need for cane harvesters. The mechanical cane harvesting is need of the hour, not only for these three provinces, but across India also. Now, just imagine if the cane is allowed to stand in the field with, in absence of the cane cutters, what will happen? The cane will remain in the field, sugar mills will remain dry, the cane will be exposed to the threat of dryage and quality and quantity losses. So this, in view of this threatening, in view of this potential threat, we as a National Sugar Federation have taken a unique lead, and I'm very happy to share that with you here. With the National Cooperative Development Corporation, NCDC, a very cash-rich Government of India undertaking under Cooperation Ministry and National Federation are coming together to provide 10,000 cane harvesters to the cooperative sugar mills. 10,000, mind you. And the timeline is this year and the next year. So by the end of 25-26, we aim to provide those 10,000 cane harvesters of various sizes, various capacities. The choice will be left to the sugar millers. They will be the owners. They will be taking these cane harvesters with the finance coming from NCDC on a 90-10 debt equity ratio. And this is going to be a very massive scheme, and we will be seeing the results of this in next 2-3 years, I'm sure, with this manual cane harvesting getting out of the picture. The cane harvester will take over. It will ensure 2-3 things. One, scientifically cutting the cane. You see what happens, the entire sugar is accumulated at the bottom. Today, the manual cane cutter, he leaves the stump, 4 to 5 inches stump is left in the field, and he cuts the cane above. So the entire sugar accumulated remains in the field. It doesn't come to the sugar mill. So scientifically cutting the cane right at the bottom and quickly transferring to the sugar mill, so you get cut to crush time reduced quite a bit. Today it is on an average 30 hours. It might be reduced to 20 hours, which will improve the efficiency, get the more sugar recovery, and all in all, I think this is going to change the entire scenario of the cooperative sugar sector. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you so much, Prakash ji. I think we can wrap up this session. So excellent points that came. Just to sum up the whole discussion, India is moving nicely forward in sugarcane cultivation. The yield is gradually going up, and with the measures that the government is thinking about, which the industry is going to implement in collaboration with the farmers, we are confident that the further improvement of the productivity will happen over the next 5 years. The yields will be more stable. The sugarcane production also becomes more stable while the yield goes up. The stability factor also will get achieved by using of more of micro irrigation methods, the watershed management, and also the move towards sustainable cane cultivation by using the various practices like the trash mulching, incorporating of the mulch into the soil to enhance the soil carbon. They enhance the microbial activity and supplement the microbial activity by using biologicals. So all these measures will make the sugarcane more sustainable, and like what Dr. P.K. Singh also acknowledged, there is a possibility of the farmers not only reducing the cost of cultivation, but also able to claim carbon credits for the new methods which they are going to adopt in the future, and which will make the sugar and other products which come from the sugar factories leaving much less carbon footprint, maybe a negative carbon footprint, which helps in so many ways in selling the products to the world which is looking for greener products. We heard about the hydrogen presentation, we heard about the presentations of the earlier panel. So we all understood the importance of the green tag for the products, and that I think is going to be achieved by the sustainable practices which are going to come into agriculture in India. We may have a few questions if time permits. Do you have time? Maybe a few questions only, please. Avantika.
Thank you for a very enlightening presentation, and it's very heartening to hear the efforts in the mechanization. I just have one question / suggestion, that when we are thinking about mechanization, then to power that mechanization, mostly it will require diesel. So if we leapfrog to remove the diesel part out of this equation, I think we will be really on a very right side of things, and farmers will definitely be able to get carbon credits. So yeah, I don't know who would like to give an input on this, but
Absolutely right, Avantika. And there are two solutions which one, government is promoting in a big way, solarization of irrigation, big way. So we should capitalize that. Second, CBG, as we spoke in the morning, that we can, on conversion kit also, various governments and central governments also, and OMCs also working on this. So we can convert tractors to bio-CNG. So these 2 points are very valid, and we must act on this.
Please.
Now, one more thing is there, Avantika, that we are trying to use the surface water available through canal irrigation in a more efficient way. That is through the pressure, that is 25 feet pressure kind of things we are trying to generate at the canal head itself, so that water can be directly used for the sprinkler or drip irrigation system without using pumps. So that kind of things are also being taken up. So.
Yeah, I am Dr. Vishwanath from IISR Lucknow. So coming to mechanization, some of the issues, especially from where I have come from UP, that some more changes in policy we need. Especially now we are going for piecemeal harvesting, so that hinders mechanization. That is the one thing, and the impact of this is the ratoon productivity. So when we take up piecemeal harvesting, so farmers are unable to take up ratoon operation at one go. These are 2-3 issues have to be addressed through policy means. Thank
you. So that is very rightly said, that at the present spacing of 90 centimeter or 3 feet, or say paired row at 4 feet, it is difficult to get a good ratoon crop. But if we are going in for something broader spacing, then this off barring and all those exercise, that is stubble shaving, off barring, and all those were practiced earlier also. So if we, through mechanical harvesting, if these practices are revived, then I hope that a good ratoon crop can be taken up by that. But yes, there is a need to change the policy of that issuance of slips and all those, that harvesting slips and all those are to be synced with this one. That is there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that informative session that all of us just heard. We look forward to applying these learnings to improve practices in our cane farming operations. Thank you very much. May I please request Shri Ashwini Srivastava, Joint Secretary Sugar, to kindly felicitate the panelists for this session. Beginning with the moderator, Mr. M. Prabhakar Rao. Thank you very much for conducting this session really well. Ladies and gentlemen, please join hands as we thank each of our panelists for their insights and for sharing their valuable perspectives with all of us today. Thank you, Mr. Roshan Lal Tamak. Thank you very much for that wonderful, enlightening presentation of yours. We thank the panelists, Dr. P.K. Singh. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your insights. And Mr. Prakash, Naiknaware. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank each of our panelists with a big round of applause.